All right, guys, good morning, everybody. We had an amazing trading day, and live on YouTube, we traded Tesla with a leverage product. And I want to actually talk about the leverage and how to actually use it, how to not destroy your life with leverage, and how you can actually have some strategies based on leverage. So the trade that I did was on TSLL and TNA, and both of them are leverage products. And I'm going to talk about what the leverage products are. So TSLL is the 2 times leverage of Tesla, and TNA is the 3 times leverage of an index called IWM. So I took TNA yesterday for a bounce on IWM with TNA. So you could essentially go IWM or you can go TNA. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit, the type of difference that they have and how you can actually work on them. So now let's get to the recap. And if you have any question about this leverage product, just leave it here in the comment or come every morning in YouTube live because I trade these ones live in YouTube that you can actually see. So Tesla market was gapping up this morning, and Tesla was super interesting because it had an upgrade. So Tesla was not only gap up with the market, but also Tesla had some sort of a Morgan Stanley upgrade that to 430, and the potential in a very bullish case scenario would be 800 shares, which makes Tesla a $2.5 trillion company, which is not crazy because we have Nvidia and Apple over $3 trillion company. So it's not crazy. It's very aggressive, but it's not crazy. So what we had here on Tesla was obviously was gapping up. And this is the kind of a case that I like. It's gapping up at 830. Obviously, PPI number came in also that impacted PPI. The producer price index, was lower than expectation. So it was gapping up, and then we had this very clear established pre-market level. So super important, very established pre-market level that we had. And if I know people who are trading in the opening range breakouts is for the stock that are gapping up and potential. You want to get a really nice entry near the VWAP with the stop loss, just below the VWAP. And as long as you're holding the volume weighted average price, which is the blue line in my chart, you want to get this kind of massive moves. And essentially, that's the plan. That was the plan. And it did happen. You're looking at the chart that is actually perfectly happened. So it was at the open a little bit choppy, but it really never lost the VWAP, came down quickly, came back up. So as you see here, it was just holding after 933, it was holding, and eventually that massive explosive what happened from 414 to 422. So you can do it in a couple of ways of doing, you can do it with a couple of the ways. So for example, what you can do is for the options, what you can do is you can do the call options. So if I, for example, let me bring this chart. So one way of doing it is you can actually trade the options. So obviously options have no pre-market activity, but as you see that massive move that we were talking about, so you can buy 420 calls, which is out of the money, a little bit out of the money. And from $8 goes all the way up to $13. So that's one way of trading over with leverage. So there are essentially three ways of using the leverage. You either use the leverage product or a leverage ETF, leverage product or options, or just essentially use the margin that your broker is giving it to you. So that's one thing. Like a Tesla, you can have a very nice, depending on where you're getting the entry, let's say 9, and then you can get this massive move on that. But I personally don't trade options because it's just a little bit more difficult for me to set up the hotkeys and everything. And today I decided instead of trading Tesla, I decided actually might trade a leverage product on that. And the product that I used was TSLL. And this one is offered by Direxion, is the company that provides this, and it's the 2 times bull. So again, bull 2 times, and this is very important. So everybody should look into that. Again, this is a daily 2 times bullish um, uh, leverage for TSLR. And the way that they do it is, they're using options and swaps and some sort of complex products in there, and then they package it in there. And what it does is exactly tracks Tesla, but in 2 times leverage. So if Tesla moves 1% up, this one moves 2% up during the day. So what happened here was, so I decided again, we saw the price action, And then I went long. It did drop just below the VWAP, quickly bounced back. I added more. Obviously, we had this pre-market levels that we discussed, and then boom, massive run from 2860 all the way up. And this is live on YouTube. You can just go look at it. And I started just partialing out all the way up to 2960 for a very nice $26,000 profit. And then I added here in this on this micro the pullback. So I added and see potentially we can actually do another run on Tesla. And then it did drop, and I got to stop that on the break even. And people who know me, follow me for 10 years, this is my strategy works. I add into the winning position. So when it goes into my direction, that's my essentially 2 entries. And then this was my add. And after this, obviously when you're adding here and here, your new average would be somewhere around here. So my break even would be somewhere around here. As you see here, I just got to stop that break even. You don't want this one to go past your entry point. And yeah, so TSLL is actually pretty good because as you see, the volume is also pretty good in 1 minute. The order flow is really nice. I actually start trading TSLL from now on, I think, because it's much more powerful, much more significant. The problem with TSLL is that the level 2 and the order flow doesn't really impact this because these are leverage products, these are derivatives. So derivatives is like your shadow. You don't want to go shopping for your shadow. You want to shop for your own body because the shadow just tracks you. So the TSLL, the price action, you have to look at the Tesla price action. And again, you see this is just perfect trade that we are talking about. So, you can actually take a leverage product on TSLL. So I had the same trades so you can actually do NVDA as well. So we did trade NVDA today a little bit. So at the open, it was a little bit messy, but eventually I took a small long on it. But the best trade that we did in the afternoon that I made most of my money here was actually a reversal on here NVDA. So right down to the previous day close. And again, we traded live here. So we got a order with the stop loss just below the previous day close, and then partial at the important level that we had, and it was just turned out to be one of the most amazing trades that we do toward the end of the day, like at 10. So this is a very nice trade. So what you can do is look at this chart, and now I'm going to actually switch this to NVDL, which is the 1.5 leverage of NVDA. So again, if you would have bought here, you sell here, you want to get actually much more better, significant return on that. And I'm actually starting thinking trading NVDL. And so again, look at this one, and now look at Tesla. See exactly the same move that you can actually see, sorry, not Tesla. I'm so sorry. So that's NVDA, and then we're gonna go to NVIDIA. See, do you see that? The chart is perfect. Like, look at the change, 1, 2, 3. See, it's the same. It's the same chart. It tracks directly the same. That's how the fund is doing that. The disadvantage of these environments is that you don't want to hold them overnight for a long period of time, especially during the bear market, because it's just a mathematical thing. When something drops 10%, or like, let's say, for example, for the sake of easiness, imagine if these guys drop 30%, your leverage products goes down 90% during the period. And now if this one goes back up 30%, your leverage products doesn't go back to where it was, because it's mathematical. If you lose 50% of your money, you need 100% return to get back to the break even. So it's just a mathematical thing that you don't want to do that. And that was one of my biggest loss that I had on IWM. So again, IWM is an index that I want to show you. I know that by pure thing that I started buying IWM at 240, and then it dropped down, and on May 2022 I completely got stopped out. IWM in that time, TNA was $90. My average was 90, and when IWM went back again to the 244 here, after 2 years. So again, this is a perfect. This is very important. Also, I like everybody to pay attention on that. So I bought IWM somewhere around here on a leverage product of TNA at 90 or around 80 was my average, and then it did drop in this huge drop, and then TNA went down. I'm going to show you the chart. Went down as low as like $20, and then IWM bounced back to 244. TNA still trades at, I'm going to prove it to you. TNA today is trading at, I have some, at $38. So see, even though the price went back to the, so see it was, so set the TNA, my average price is $38. So see, it still trades on that. So even though the IWM is back into the same level that it was 2 years ago, the TNA, because it's a leverage product, a concept of leverage over holding it for years and months, is never really went back in there. If I go to the TNA chart, you'll see that. So this is a TNA chart. You can actually see that. So if I remove this one, so this is the area that I bought. So this massive drop went all the way up to $20 and then went back up. And even though it's saying an IWM is trading in the same area, it's never really went back in there. So you don't want to hold this overnight, especially in a bear market. In a bull market, they're actually pretty good. You can actually make a lot of money on that. But again, this one is the direction, is the same company. Bull 3 times, especially 3 times are super scary. Like 1.5 and 2 are okay, even for long-term hold. Like a SPY has something SSO 2 times leverage. I think it's really nice. Instead of holding a SPY, you can go with SSO, as you see here. This is a very massive run that SSO has, but you got to be careful. When it goes above 2 or 3, it becomes very dangerous. So what are the list of those ones that you can actually watch? So if you go to the different databases, there's so many databases here. So this one is, for example, ETF overview. If I want to show you here, so the TQQ, that you can actually essentially see that. So there's a huge list on that. So TQQ, SOXL, this is the 3 times leverage. FNGU is a MicroStrategy index. So this is for Bitcoin, QLD, 2 times leverage of gold. NVDL is 1.5 of NVIDIA. This is really good even for long term. 1.5 is amazing. If someone wants to really hold, 1.5 is amazing. 3 times. And again, you're going into it. As you see, there's so many other different, for any sector that you want, there is a leverage product as well. And even, for example, CONL, coin long. So CONL is the 1 times of leverage. This is really nice, and I like that. And again, you're very careful of that. That this is beta 5, but there's so many databases and ETF that you can use that. And again, it's very good to use them for day trading or for very short-term trading. But long-term, again, my biggest loss, people who followed this $2 million loss that I had, was by holding TNA, and I just didn't get it. Even as an experienced trader, I didn't get it. So this is always one of my favorites. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. If you have any question, guys, feel free to get that. And I hope that I actually see everybody in YouTube live in the morning. So if not, and if you want to get all this information and educational package that we have, you can just sign up to our $1 deal that we have and get access to all of the 19-day trading strategies that we have. Thanks, guys, for watching. And I appreciate it. Like and subscribe to our channel so our channel be more visible for the algos to show to the world.